Hi you guys, I'm Mrs. Palmer. I am one of the 8th grade math teachers and I am going to help you with learning how to solve some equations that have the variable on both sides that first need to be simplified. So let's start with a review of solve an equation with the variable on one side that needs to be simplified first. Whenever you are solving an equation, it's super important for you to know the steps. There is an exact process that you follow every single time, no matter what the equation is. So the first thing that you always do is you look at the left side of your equation and you see if you can simplify it. You can see if there's any distributing that needs to be done, and you look and see if there are then any like terms that need to combine. Once you have simplified the left side, the next thing that you do is you simplify the right side. So you do the same thing. You see if there's anything that needs to distribute, and then you combine any like terms. Those are the first two steps. The third step is you want to collect all of the variable terms on one side, and for the purpose of these examples and your assignments, I think it's best if you just always collect the variable terms on the left, and then you want to collect the number terms, the ones that don't have the variable. You want to collect those on the right, and then your last step is to isolate the variable by either multiplying or dividing to get the variable by itself. So we have a problem here. 3 times x plus 5 times by x plus 5 equals a negative 39. The first thing that I want you to do is realize that this equation has two sides, a right side and a left side. So we're going to go to the first step. We are going to simplify the left side if we can. Remember, when you're simplifying, if there's anything that needs to distribute, you do that first. We have to multiply the 5 by both the x and the 5, which gives us 5 times x plus 25. Now, this is a positive 5x. We also have our 3x, and we are not done simplifying yet. So we distributed. Now we've got to combine our like terms because 5x and 3x are like terms. We can make that 8x plus 25 equals negative 39. Okay, now on our right side here, there's nothing to simplify. That side is as simplified as it can get, which means we are then going to move to our next step, which is to collect our variables on the left. So this term right here, this is our variable term. The 25, that is a number, okay, so that's a number term. We want variable terms to be on the left, and we want all of our numbers to be on the right. So we want to get this variable term all by itself on the left, which means that we have to get rid of the 25. We don't want this number on the left side. We want the 25 gone from this side. So we're going to minus 25 to get rid of that positive 25. So a positive 25 and a negative 25 cancel. And whatever we do on one side, we have to do the same thing on the other side, which brings us to 8 times x equals a negative 64. Okay, now this x is being multiplied by 8, so our very last step is to get rid of that multiplication by using division. So x equals negative 8. That is our solution. When we substitute 8 in for the x in the original equation, that is what is going to make the equation true. Okay, now this is going to get a little bit more difficult. Some of these equations require you to simplify either one side or both sides before solving. You also have variables on both sides for the next few examples. Okay, so steps are same steps every time. Simplify the left, and this is the last time I'm going to write all of these down. Okay, so simplify the left side, which means distribute and combine like terms. Step 2 is to simplify the right side, distribute and combine like terms. Step number 3 is to collect the variable terms on the left, which means we don't want any number terms on the left. And then step number 4 is to collect the number terms on the right. So here we go. Here's our equation. We have a right side, we have a left side. We can see that on our left side there are no like terms to combine. There's no simplifying to do. On our right side though, we have this 9 that has to first be distributed to both of these terms. So this will be 9 times x is 9x, 9 times 4 is 36. On the left side, we have negative 4x plus 10. Okay, so we've done this step, we have done this step. Now we are going to do this step, which is to collect the variable terms. So you have to find the terms that have a variable, and I want you to circle those. Those are the ones that we're going to work on next. We're going to collect those variable terms. We want our right side to only have numbers, no variable terms. We want our left side to only have variable terms. We don't want any numbers. So to get rid of the 9x that's on the right side, I'm going to subtract 9x. 9x and a negative 9x cancels to a 0, and 0 plus 36 is 36. So now I'm left with 36 on my right side. I also have to subtract negative 9x from the left side, which leaves me with negative 13x plus 10. Okay, next step is I want only this variable term on the left side. I need to get rid of the number. I need to get rid of the 10. I want my numbers on the right side, so I'm going to minus 10 from the left side, minus 10 from the right side. Negative 13 times x equals 26. And then to get the x alone, I'm going to get rid of the multiplication of negative 13 by dividing by negative 13 on both sides. X equals negative 2 is our solution. Okay, next example problem includes an equation where we need to simplify both sides and then solve. Okay, so remember, steps are look at the left side, see if there's anything that can simplify. Let's do that. We see this 2 that needs to be distributed. 2 times 2v is 4v. Now when you distribute the 2, you have to remember that this term right here is a negative 4. Anytime there's a subtraction sign in front of a term, it makes it negative. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. This was a positive 4v, and we also have a positive 8. And we are not done simplifying this side yet because we can still combine these two constants, right? Those two numbers, 8 and negative 8. Those combine to make a 0, which leaves us with 4 times v on the left side. Now, once the left side has been simplified, we now simplify the right side. Negative 3 times 6v is negative 18v. Negative 3 times by, this is a negative 3. There's a subtraction sign in front of it. So negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. We still have a positive 4v on that side. We're not done simplifying until we combine these two like terms. So negative 18v and positive 4v is a negative 14v plus 9. Okay, next step is to collect our variable terms on the left. So remember, this is my right side, this is my left side. Any term that has a variable, I don't want it on the right side. I want only numbers there. Any term that is a number, I don't want that on the left side. I only want variable terms on the left. So to get rid of this variable term that's on the right side, I'm going to add 14v. I'm going to add 14v. So 18v equals positive 9. And then my last step is to get rid of that multiplication of 18 by using division. Now, 9 divided by 18 is not 2. 9 divided by 18 simplifies to 1/2 because 9 goes into 9 once, 9 goes into 18 twice, so V equals 1/2 is the solution. You can have solutions that are integers, you can have solutions that are fractions, your solution can even be 0. Okay, last example, and then I think you guys are going to be ready to do some of your practice on your own. This is an example of a variable on both sides equation that has fractions. Nothing changes about the process for solving this equation. We solve it the same as we solve any other equation, which is to look at the left side first, see if there's anything that can distribute. Then look at the right side, see if there's anything that can distribute. If nothing can be simplified, we then find our two variable terms. And remember, this is my right side of the equation. This is my left side. I want my variable terms over here. I want my number terms on the other side. So I'm going to get rid of this -3/2 W by adding 3/2 W. I'm going to do this on both sides. Now you're for sure going to need to grab your calculator here. Okay, so when I put in the -6/5 plus 3/2, I get 3/10 times by W. Okay, this is the coefficient. This fraction is being multiplied by the W. And then I still have a positive 2/5 equal to a -4. Okay, so remember my left side is my variable side, which means I do not want this 2/5 on the left side. So I'm going to subtract 2/5, I'm going to subtract 2/5, I'm going to bring this out here so I have a little bit more space. 3/10 W equals, when I do a -4 minus 2/5, I get -22/5. Okay, and then last step is to get rid of this multiplication of 3/10 by using division. So this -22/5 is going to get divided by 3/10. It absolutely does matter which one goes in the calculator first, because if you are doing this by hand, you would actually multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. Okay, so you have to keep this one as the second fraction. So -22/5 goes in the calculator first, divided by 10/3. And that gives us -33/25. W equals -33/25. Final answer. And now you guys are ready to do the ALEKS assignment that is 8.7.EB2 practice. Okay, that's the one that you're going to do once you've completed that ALEKS assignment at 100% complete and correct. You'll be able to retake your test.